94.7 Asempa FM Sunni. It's a special day for our country, the Constitution Day, and a statutory holiday. But today also marked quite an important occasion in the history of this country. The swearing in, the inauguration of the president-elect, now President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. In Tiana Jumedi Koso our Parliament House here in Accra. But before that, Runim said the dissolution of the 7th Parliament, Ekoso, the swearing in of the 8th Parliament, and so Ekoso, the election of a Speaker of the 8th Parliament, and the first Deputy Speaker, the second Deputy Speaker, Ninyina Akoso ene ewie. But it went off without, some controversies are not endorsed. I mean, I tell you. So I'll share the controversies near fisticuffs in Parliament and gidigidia ebaye or more booty ballot boxes or more fa ballot boxes edi jane or monsua shim ballot papers edi ejane in Parliament. A friend is saying voting booth, another election booth, and a polling booth among for egu form. It was quite a scene in Ghana's Parliament. The Yatna say all the issues are also in Parliament. Yet Nina Ebremo Ekosiisen jumedi eso reactions are pesa wotin yinara obeti nina ewo e haintishan enso efa MIA. Medidio Saibonsu on behalf of the production team, Dominic Kisi Yaboa, Nana Chum Berema, Jackson Osei in Tiamoa, Eric Oparibe Freno DJ Yeyo, and a Queen Star a Japan. On their behalf, Niamama Kwaba Eba Ekosiisen. So let me also say a big thank you and good afternoon to Amai Hene Kwabena Sante, who is joining me in studio. Now after the analysis, no Ashe Etumi Edia Tuakmo. So Enti, join us on all our platforms. Your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube, your Twitter, and a WhatsApp messages and so be to me at your brain. Do go Facebook, just search for Asempa 94.7 FM. Na afi share a live streaming on Facebook. Sounds no on YouTube and so Asempa 94.7 FM on YouTube. Monshan and so Emfa Emma. It promises to be an exciting show this Thursday afternoon. And Shannon so am I said the medical cano or my Kwabena Santi at Nase na fear day may hear some segment and for the rest of the show no a analysis on what happened in Parliament. Now reactions from both sides of the divide in Parliament etumi edia. We are lining up a lot of people anyone ever share etumi edi and como in the message when di mo so be mafidi no ada here all our affiliate radio stations ya the munyina say Esaima munyina kwab. WhatsApp line is 0546 382 287 0546 382 287. WhatsApp line no for messages nebra na yenti. I'm told say the American say election booth and our polling booth no the right expression voting screens. Voting screens. Into Dr. Srebo Kweku, may I say papa for that correction. Voting screens. And Dr. Srebo Kweku, Electoral Commission. Please. Oh. Dr. Srebo.
No problem. But the flank has Nikobi. So what is your problem? Maybe any san come a break a brain near break. So Dr. Kweku dey send bebre. O ma your mujuma pay by back and say one sema. Please don't let us go there. Where do about nanu betum cry dey? Yeah. They kotokwa the nanu betum cry dey. And that correction or they might kwa ya to, but that's not what we need. I can't for cover technical team by then or multi
Hey, but guy and a friend say Costadine puppet.
And you didn't hear come. She branded the commercials and the Cotocodia.
Costadine.
And I make us say you didn't hear at this point. Please, House of Folk, please.
Or by the second match, or share 6.
Even the latest speaker in 8th Parliament speaking, or a Kotoko fan.
Oh, Abam.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Wow. Oh, I never knew that. Alban Sumana Bagman.
Kotoko fan. No RTU. And then Akoshe Gatem.
It is that Wabakotoko. And first deputy speaker,
Kotoko fan.
Joe Wise. Second deputy speaker.
For me, Uncle No Bofakwa and Wabakotoko. Because Bofakwa ain't never been to see. And then Mr. Kweku, Dr. Kweku say, please, we should give us a break. Mama started on a very good note. Impesa. Dr. Sibon
Hearts beat Bechem United, the league leaders, by 6 goals to 1. Dr. Sibon, good afternoon to you. Ekosiisen, I have some 94.7 FM, 10 minutes after 3. And then they send America canon.
The politics is being nipa. Obuako you.
Obo.
President Obo.
I be say me who we be so see odi 40 years.
Oh wow. Say me I don't know.
Okay, so odi 40 years and obey you.
Well, odi 40 and I said no mbako.
Oh, okay.
But we and I'm saying you see me I disagree. Obi Muyanya are advocates. The mentality that Rastafarians cannot enter any public office now, a part of Ghana. Yes, crew.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't agree to that. It's a society, it's a belief. Also, me here, Jumana de Tampico, Abraham. You tell Mama they actually, but I don't just say Tampico.
On that Tampico,
Ghana brand, Anna.
Yeah, it's a Ghana. For nice, for Ghana.
Yeah, Jumana de Tampico, Abraham.
On that Tampico, no, my name Samson Ahi.
Oh, I hear about
Samson Ahi.
The diabolic man, Abba. 2021, only the first person in the Kansas I'm saying. And they were feeding Bubuene.
Body constituency.
Body representative Nabano.
Oh, Samson Ahi, too much.
Oh.
Honorable Samson Ahi, I quite about the same.
Hello, so Obi.
Afi Papa, I'm coming to you.
Okay. Keep the body come here. And I'm
Oh my!
Okay, the body why
Hey, oh my! Hele kwabna santio.
Oh, we are just
Mayamo Abasu, congratulations for winning the body constituency again.
Me da Obi. I'm say, ajume wa yake inti unim from. I'm say proud to elections no. It is say na more series of constituency discussions. MPP working of that time.
Yeah.
At the several messages by say or Ajibo district. Now, oh yeah, some critical analysis ma. Every year say I grew up in Odi. Papa ya to abani year. You don't need to body. Ha basically any baby or question. Na I am na on Oda. And she but
on so analysis no de ma yen no say or say as regional chairman on one kasa board no fee. And on ma permutations be a say independent candidate be free must talk bane adinti or mono betimi e de afa ho awini. I mean the analysis somehow made sense and on
one kasa na kofa sa independent candidate by on an sponsor that independent candidate no. Nana Jemmy said, Ebebuano, but on one casaro, we asked them, now on noon. Sir, when Mukra, Lanka, on for independent candidate number. But only say, I've grown it from more. I've grown it from Ubasha. I can't bear 2 months relations. One time I will read
we a compa.
Yes, Namisha, and Nami Yedima. And he, I thought on the level. And he,
because many of mine in it bass as you also. Your constituency watch was as you also. Inti a honor or mobile and or no any regional organizer. And I think if at all the regional executives were there, inti time or more analysis about how our Western North Bekono. And on Monday we all admitted that wow, say they are solid on the ground. I mean, no analysis are no more year any idea. Into omoka wo ho, omoka juabo so akando ho, omoka awin swaman. Dabi. Swaman that is so good. Swaman that is so. And omoka say a ho will fall. And they even said say enchi krano omo ye nneoma kakra bia no kra can flip. Surprisingly no memusa na je mo na maye kom she constituency na mo ye adwuma o grounds pa on.
Obi, I say wonim ne obedi a ekom no. Wonim ne obedi a ekom no. Enna se wode wano do nyira so a kase so wo. Satisfaction no enna na before no omo mu e wo yempatam ho no. Na amafo mu ho. Ene osha hotno ho se obi ho a etini etrafe na ye to abama MP no. Na president second we akobeti. Obi ho ye to abama president candidate no. Na ya to abama atia parliamentary candidate no. Enti na Ghanaian voter no. Ono ngase onim ne ope. Na enye se anumdwa wo be no sabe afidie so no ena obehwe so ato aba. Amanfo no hwe obeye MP ana se obetra akonya kese so no. Niema wo de gu akomu a aboa no ona mababo atumpon. Ena amoso so ato aba. Na obi wo ho a ofriwe bodi sa but anya bako ana ebeba nikrom kra onko eye bako onko onya hwe wo ho election time do na odimnika onya sana the people there they know say politics inti ena waba but sometimes adibia ebesibia no sometimes ena omo wo ho mebe ya MP obi na wo di secondary school ni ho yan ka sam di ni CS secondary school amenne they will go to senior high school patam ho wo de bisa
wa fear now they start senior high school no
yes and ya bu secondary school kese obodi a abayan kasa absorb a eboa enkwala na mo patam ho ena na ya MP no bodi na ho nya district na jaboso na ya district no enne bodi ya district Emma, never be na koso ewo important ensio nkania school dine clinic yaboa ama central government aye ewo ho yenso modern bo e dey common fund and education fund aye enti okọ somo na amafo na ngasa ni essence na hi aye ewo body maintenance enti enye 10 days to election and I say 1 month to election sa udi milika na wakota wa oya fanfare o de ayi system machine bu KM1 homache na kola bi diwachi na o puno ana amafo bata wa ma eto aba no ye no obi ehu se chagro na ye dia nanka na edafo
na gap na you're saying
about 2,600.
Oh, 2,600.
Yes.
2016 now gap you're saying.
2016 about I think 7,000.
7,000.
Yes.
There was a drop of more than 4,000 though.
No, assessment we say previous register na year. Now amount for was about 45,000. Now say actually no. Now total register na year 33,000.
Oh, okay.
What you say? And you know, over so rare performance now. This is what strategic those percentages, no.
Oh, sure, no.
And so what more level at say you're gaining, and I say you see.
And this is your 4th term and our 3rd term.
5th term.
Oh, 5th term.
5th term. Yes.
Hey, and something he walk up out.
And as I said, that's all who said. The Obi, I come myself down 5 times that. As I said, Nippon was 7, and so we are second term Ghana Eddie. Over here, MPP and DC. You call 2020 promise here. No, say never be.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Who's on promise? Yes, you know. So this I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to our wedding because somebody said you. Yes, I'm out for almost 20 parents and I travel money. No one has said Nippon a year BB. I'm out for no epe. I'm out for me and so forth. And no matter what you do, I'm out for no. Our GPA, our Senate Parliament.
Enra, betima ka say enra na enne say ya homachin. Dabio.
Every
non do
Eko
nyina no. Na yeshemo on the floor of Parliament, of course. Now ka 7th Parliament in the dissolution of the 7th Parliament. Yeah, swear 8th Parliament ni nyina na yeshemo. I don't know. Oman Sams na he as part of the gidi no.
No,
net odi no.
Me ne se o tu sa na mo no bi baby asa na mo tu no obi an obi baby a no. Onso onyo obi a beti metwa fa no so na beti mesisi. He might not be doing that loud, you know. Onso me wo me stand am dey ba awie. But me hu say me mpene de besi sa kasa se fata no me hu ne bi but me ma show or a schema. Or a sound cofona. You not see them. But obetime nyanyoma bebre su kopim so because me me service no. You don't know again chat no call baby. I know them man.
But honorable Samson, what it means, let's say, before say Mobe walk into the chamber.
Yeah.
From the decision to go and sit on the right side of the speaker through to Nioma Eko so nyina mo allow Emma obi mfa the vote in chere and it was well planned and modeba na mo strategy bi amu implement it.
Let my kind of say Eko so nyina yeah standing orders no and constitution no Ghana constitution no ashe ato
Semper FM
na the standing orders no a chere majority and minority. Ye na ile say to abaye Ghana for an kan say obia etibia ekuta majority asat eneda and say na akosai and I no grade 8th Parliament because MPP umukuta 137 and DC yekuta 137 nti ekodu ho no na MPP for adika akopa ayi sa majority side na I the right hand side of speaker na anka no na ekodu ho na obi enu ho no na mo so ekuta majority no na etese etlawa ayi no I don't understand why I do not say MPP for kunya obi what can they see across say another another after 12 o'clock and at the 7th Parliament about from 12:01 another and I'm a pay a real program on to say so in any Parliament of Ghana and then I'm also can say I'm before no more majority in the no yeah na afonso bia any more any one say the word secret ballot you can't secret ballot I say anything 7 first year political science student kurano they can't secret ballot what you say secret ballot I say anything old market and out on period but jana fakire we how be you can't secret ballot I say oh my kid, and I saw to criteria. Masu obi no who say abana mutu no any. Is that secret ballot?
Dabi.
And he said before abibia wo mo nsam na ne wo Ghana. Said they are the apostles of democracy. Nothing. Parliament enya baby o. I say DPR 4 year election bobby. And I say yeah primary school and a secondary school election today. Parliament of Ghana. Kasi ni mo kwamra se ho no yeni mo na se ye secret ballot no some people before say that secret ballot dey ne mo to wi afakire ye no mo pese ye tena ho ye hwe han na ye wi asa tabu na say secret ballot so we decided say no if it is indeed secret ballot there we will not allow say ebe ma omokwan ama onku wi a to ja afakire obi ansa na o de akoto adakenu sanya adwon bo no mutima obi wo hwe okun ba bi a position ayi boot no
yeah
obi a okona okotom pretend na say o mark no na ballot box no No, between the side and NDP for the no. But they are super a
yeah.
And any panel talk NDP for no more the left side of the speaker. And you are traveling moving towards the right now on Franco to young mom over today. I went to the left side concern our back. Just because your mom wants to say for left side, no, not just to me who say what someone are you okay? And you went on the survey. Transfer nuclear we are over much. And you also a determined say, yeah, man, if it indeed a city ballot, let's allow the principles of city ballot to work.
And in your attempt to prevent an illegality, you also engage in probably worst form of illegality. How do you justify more reactions? No, mubuti ballot boxes, essay, voting screens, and it's the worst form, which to me no relative. Because of the who of course but oh yeah, then now the force of back. That is what will happen. And the who are deliberately but you saw what happened there. Former deputy chief of staff, who we know of Basingo, of a Pajada can hold it. And will be coming in and on that telling what you say? It happened. Yes. And you know, this one, and in attempt to correct wrong, yes, we have committed is offensive. And you know, and I'm a in 80. What condemn MPP for now? Do you vote extra, you know? Would you be bold to also condemn your colleagues? Because you share video, no share, will be to say. Oman honorably John Jenapo or Chin Masal back within the share form called booty ballot box and all of those now and share in Cheye. Would you be bold to condemn your colleagues as well?
Ma who said Jenapo Ocha Obinemu Emane Etitofom.
Something, please. Remember, yes, I did. You are 2021. Don't do what you are attempting to do. So you are a key member of the NDC and a revered member of Parliament. We are in 2021. 2020 no. Yem pene manin san fama 2021. Inti who catch the Ghana for we are kete we say the akosufie no anaju nongotwe. Ebesi ene we ani udin komi wan hu se John Jenapo your skills bia wan
so I wouldn't see that wait and wait. Actually I didn't see Jenapo.
Oh, okay.
It's all now okay.
And we have videos ni being shared.
Yeah, my friend,
oh, okay.
Okay.
But Ebiaka say what happened? I mean the infractions of the law said the abuse of our secret ballot process, no. Carlos Ahenkra Okoshim ballot papers are not the Jane, the see ye bubu, you know, voting screens, near say ballot boxes. In the Committee of Nations. What do you say?
Carlos Ahenkra, and our him ballot papers. I all die and it is supposed to edit.
Now, I don't know who.
What's it?
And who?
Oh, no, no, I don't know. Action was a single action. Oh, no, one so, what was that? A program who sent them until I'm a kind of time. But Carlos Jenny, oh, no, one, oh, yeah, of course, you know, be that way. Oh, if Chairman supposed to work, Chairman supposed to, and I probably know that I'm going to say, not Chairman supposed to. Everywhere my Carlos said, hey, John, and Carlos, let them recap. Echo film, Adena, a result to happen. When you clear, Obi, Karazahan was oh, yeah. What I say? And you know, who my your boat? I am going to sa wrong breeze, no. Na ama ochira Obi also anything I had. But say because of when I say, look at oh, when no shop, say a full member of parliament. Obey, Adena, oh, yeah. Huh? I no. Now, I last but one. How minority side of and then on them to wow, about to a 10 months was more anything come on, and some of the kind of opinion. But free 10 months was to what?
To tell you the truth, Honorable, like many other Ghanaians, no, Enradi and you may be shocking. I mean, from Carlos, the SDA to the NDC members, so
NDC
members, transfers on the floor.
Very shameful.
Everything shocked everybody. The course when running there. And I am a bit surprised in your case, and so no, so Carlos there. And now say you're bold to condemn. Why do we condemn some and leave the others? Honorable.
Oh, I'm the man in the past. I saw anything. Actually, oh, sir, it's in big bar. Every crowd is what they never bound. Now, I don't know. Carlos, look at 100 meters or him, I didn't know quite if you have. And you want to cry over
Yan, who know.
I'm always there, Carlos. Now we are part of the best. What a god. But when I was shut, but yeah, I didn't see you. Not as young. Who knows when at the court? Because there were a lot of people around. Oh, I'm being done with you. Oh.
Okay, let's make progress. In this year, the speaker election was held. Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagben Ewini, he is the speaker of the 8th Parliament. That should be some great news for more NDC. No,
exactly. Bueno, excellent. Yankopon Pebone. Bueno, excellent. Indeed, and this. One majority seats our parliament. And I'm before after a gambone, this said, on the community and that. How much is it now? Young. I don't think, and I am couple. I said, I'm going to be young. I'm a one who said, yes, I am before almost. I don't know, I'm at the moment. I was a model for Tiqua and Fatuna Mojen. Me yankopo me mamu kwai enu nti enama alen 137 anamwa
yes
yeah 138 ena bi go ya 136 ena ba ko essay
why they announce this result? Was it announced?
Oh, so yes, so to out here. Yes, so you appreciate yes segregate you to ma Professor Okwe.
Yes.
And I ain't no toma. Right honorable speaker, Bagman so Diana Ebuho. And Abakwa essay, Nipano, Eddie can up to Emma Okwe. And our day pen. Can't see me. And was Santa Emma Babin. That was the basis to reject it. And not a more segregation area, about something and now you want 3 components.
Yeah.
1 for okay. 1 for Babin. And I'm not asking. And I one. Now you can 136. Sorry, 130. Yeah, 136. No ever. And I'm going to say. And I'm going to buy 137. 275. Who you wanted to tell from Akase? Akase 138. Because if we start correct, no, I'm also 275, no, Obiafi. It's who you continue here. That's it. I want to get
Ekosiisen on Asempa.
I want to get Babin. How about you to talk Parliament? And yes, I'm for an energy. I said, apostles of democracy. Also, Mama Immunity. Say, Babin, Abaya Speaker of Parliament. Now, Babin, dear, I will say, me, Atwa, if you're 15 years. Na minimum.
Asempa
FM.
FM.
You know. But minimum, Papa, no. Send you sit on no pay. Sabi, on basis, on purpose, the blue. On my cancer, and this is what the unity. Say, and this is why every business here. Obeyasha. So there was a tear Jumana. I'm sure that who can win the power.
Yeah.
Of a team Jumaya, who don't send a baby here. Say, oh, Mamma, NDC, MPP, and a city in some hour. Because, and I can't know yet to say, how about before Abba? Because, Oba, what's what is there? I am this, you know, I was said, something really do over. Now, I'll consider. But, Oba surprise, that is nothing for you. And it is this democracy. And you know, now, I want to buy a man. Now,
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
We are in the camera. And you're going to come a camera. Now, Ghana, and Koso.
Military and police personnel in Remuno.
No more.
We am shell.
Oh, we are mentioning because I shall say my win. For phone, your president for the boom. But
Asempa FM.
No cry, and I hear you know, be up on it. You go real busy. You know, be at them. You do man. Now, me no be at them. I'm here. I'm finishing my Juma. We get to the beach. So I have a woman. No, I don't see. I'm a na movie there na in fact most of whom is na the movie so that one by na meet mo kunya mu akosi o bi so mo kunya so that one by na meet so mo kunya so akosi o mo awo center so mo kunya what na ya husam emagan esi se mo amodo so say side there for Ghana democracy unlawful entry by
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Fully armed. Who would take you? And I'm about Timbamu. Massa. Nana Kofado. Offer an entity. Now, and then I cannot. I had also. And yet, also, I then, and the quantity, and every the trouble, they say, 50 ballot. Must see any open.
Asempa FM.
They just walk straight towards the NIA. So you're from them, as if you don't have more of them. We should do. That's what they do. Now,
Honorable, yes, suspended sitting of Parliament, say, at the inauguration of the president-elect, Jumediana Atwaso. Whom were now were
the inauguration of Nana Kufado that person. Nana Kufado, a president. Nana Kufado, and didn't move a president of Ghana. And didn't move one Abana. And you know, they had enough of Supreme Court. Now, enough of Supreme Court, I bet they're not a so we are taking on the decision that we will not participate in that unlawful illegal corona before boy any commission boy. And I don't want to do what. And you have taken a decision that after the inauguration, we will not participate in that inauguration.
Internet now who were here at the time.
Now to come back.
Now to come Mukofi. The one should be cry.
Oh, that's my what is the comment?
What's it?
Radio comment.
Asempa FM.
Honorable Samson, Mamma Nasi, be any I best about Hobio. Why? Medasepa, Afisia Panso. And the Samson here MP for the Body constituency, Ekosiisen Sunni, higher Sempa 94.7 FM. Me ba to betimi aba Facebook live na wababa be hwe ewo ho. Some of the videos more bia enna fa mo into videos ayeka ho asem ne o me course so parliament wo anya bia nhwe. Mr. Nyame adom yensa ka videos on Facebook videos say we dey the friends Carlos dey no ho John Janapomo dey so ewo into all those videos ni na no ewo ho time you declare Bagben as winner na minority me say minority and they all come minority majority I know ahwe na NDC caucus ne bo say ne ade no you would see all those videos no on Facebook live ebia na nafa ubehu ni nyina oman inti what the something na he edi atuja.
Oh yeah say also from no naniwa ekuja no dio no ohu ye no but mame fasa kwanya we sumbo election quarters team member mo baso ekua bacho ne Abednago ana fi ampofoje ana me boss oti akwasi agima ne AC ohene ana Nyameke Insura FM ana your good self ana miankasa and the team Sarah ne Martha ne Efiama Nkwa Diamond mo ene CJ ne Anochiwa mo you know we continue to demonstrate the reason why SSS the fa nyoma etise hu no Ghana for etifo ne ahwefo ene nipa dodo na SSS omode omo to yeso if you say ye man ye fe ye man ye akonangasa so team multimedia always the best team you can rely on, especially when it's on matters of national interest like this. Accuracy in our reportage, fairness, objectivity, and that boldness. No, it me edit to back to yes I'm saying in come on in a dino. I am very hopeful say ye koye nim as of mine o share from another danko kufu adone se ma waka any impo yeso en in nense mo kan ya de mi hu wo mu ni se ono de waje atum preku pese baby a woman Ghana edu no what it shows clearly and it say esese kabum na ye dwene woman Ghana ho na yenya san puntu ni kanko ene nioma ese fata ebema Ghana ni di hye bia etimi ho atono na ne ho ahare no. The details of what's going to transpire in the next parliament, 8th parliament of the 4th republic there ebeba so but de bia da no para me come say yes ofi echi eni abufunu bia ba abufunu we de ebeka ansa na ya twaso because ya sha afina sisa no esu ni ban bi wa ntempa no ya ntwitwa so a emmo ye nyina iko bibia da no amanyo semfo no ebinim nsusuye ne sesabe enim ye benkum efri ye nifa if say wo hwehwehwehwehwa ene na bia onyambe adome na besesade a amanyo semye from time immemorial majority of the percentages has been self-centered, self-interest, and unnecessarily partisan. And the Bribia da say, oh, Juni Ghana, Ghana nyen to kwamai. So, Juni Ghana Hongkwa, Ghana nye didi atemai. So, Juni Ghana, on Chai Miles Mills and Akura, enko fa ballot box. So, Juni Ghana, oh, yes, a yem Rashibijonia, unko butu, a yen shishe go on form. O juni Ghana ho onko fa mashalo ene nkokonto kiki o juni Ghana ho onye chinchini because asem ne say e Ghana ana o juni no de e hime ye me ya ne say na wiase no ya be global village de ye nyina ye nsem na nipa nyina so agi atum nipa dodo na agi atum say Ghana eba eye kemam nke bia mamu se beba asumdwe eba kase ho ti ho a ene ebi brem ni wiase afra na nyina nkro dodo na e hwe so e de esuan na sa nioma ensem fata no etimi akoso from eye nra no ngotwe she ejumedi na se ya na egusu ensem ni bo no ma ensem ni bo kwa odwunu kwa onti ase so at ensem ni bo wa ba bia mo hye no mo na ma demonstrate to ye ba mo tumi se mo nko hye mra man no se mo ntimi ni mra so. What I found interesting is anytime leadership on both sides ebe o madwe say we dey yen kwose kokom ni yenwe ho yen san bra wo say omo ko ba pele ni o ma tai I was surprised omo jai ma de ne course but me insem bi wa metiti ekra na me I'm disappointed. Some of them they have the courage to talk to us and tell us na they see or Japan ni China ni you know how do you do this comparison Sebe insem phone insem here and insem ebu abem epai kro esem man a ma shebe dwafo ni bikikan. I don't want to go by calling out names. Very shameful. Your power should make all of us suffer. and then you go and just keep yourself together and keep smiling and laughing. Baby. Why do we continue to deceive ourselves through politics like that? Why?
And immediately after swearing in,
by deceptive. We should not encourage. And not think you say a man you say momo yamna nada. It is a politics. So we are sympathizer of the MPP or the NDC or any other political party. If you don't really want to kill yourself, just don't enter with every soul that you have. We are losing our patriotism. And obi, a mebunu so manya kwenya e wa manyo semuno. Ya dodo na muade. Muade because I can talk the way I'm talking because many bebre o. Dodo na muade. Dodo na muade. People don't understand that. Sa kwenya na wonya no. E ya dom ne humo bro bi na do akogina ho. Sabi o constitution no, you're not the only wisest person. And we are learning from you. It is dear to me now, plenty of person Ghana bo. Dear to me. Na Ghana bo wana wana oberuli wine. Dear to me. Ya so and look at where say onyo nyame intervention and when we get to from Enonaju to anopa bebe 11 or mobile into conclusion. Why? Just a simple matter of yakoto ba monshi say mu no. Yes, see, but ya jia to me say a secret ballot. We no so no as I see a king konya court na kisaga to choke you about so God will punish you. Why? If people are practicing this kind of democracy in their country, so be it. But not in this country. Not in this country. So I think that it's high time. Media problem is with journalists now. The politicians should not, and we should not allow them to take us for granted. 2021, we should meet them boot for boot. Because it is here necessary to serve as a check on them. They've taken us for granted too much. That's why me acknowledge and me appreciate the speaker or acknowledge the media no say bra be brand try change. Yes, they take us for granted. They disrespected too much.
And the selective
it is too much.
Say MPP ni bana ubusana.
It's too much. That's why me say we don't want to know the MPP truth. Neither do we want to know the NDC truth. We go by it. That's why a brass say we should add up in terms of knowledge and wisdom in the job that we have set here. And you can see a lie add your PhD, your first degree, your second degree. It doesn't make us fool. We should continue to tap into wisdom and do a lot of research. Because if we are to rely on these politicians, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We don't elect people to this August house to misbehave and tell us that we should call them honorables. We don't elect people to this house to lie, to fight, to go contrary to the constitution that we believe in and tell us that we should call them honorable. It's a shame.
Very.
It's a shame.
Very. Very. And I agree with you. In your mind initial comment, I don't know, Kwesi Agyemang, editor ewo Adom Newsroom. Senior Kwaba net saying
we boko
koye
you Adom you want I think come to
Enra minimsana mo TV so you stayed throughout the night into we there kafra say asen atwe won asan de wa ba ha bi abre e was say na kwa hwe na ye pontem yetimi ekokoda but I mean monitoring from TV nyoma na ekoso no na ede na eko team what was running
na me say enye Ghana na me wo no enye Ghana mrahye bedwam na sanse musisi na eye oman foforo so hu nsem na mehwe but many ba me hu so say Ghana na me wo no this is the first of its kind hu enye won say obidi ne hyebre hye nsem fomfie nan no se watu abamma kokko hyehyɛ mmra na mmra no mfa impuntu emma omaimu a eye asodie no de ama wo wanfa ama wo sɛ kokko kan wo so asɛm koye de wo pɛ na sɛ ukɔ na kokoye bibi saa na nipa na omo eto abama wo sɛ kɔ no di omunwamo eba ne saa sɛ wonumu a ekitaifo no party for no some come primaries and almost your congresses no more kuntokwa on abedena butimaka because they didn't doubt so see you onyamfo obi oye onumnyafo bia na say wudi mu Ghana hanyina over 38 million people
about 31
good okay thanks for the correction now when your opportunity say obesom woman na ukoku disanya masabu na mehwe na twede to sticker to be ni yesum no ni na marshal obi a oye na djuma as a civil servant ni yesum no
awo mu time no to na twene and I was like
me pa me was sa constituency na sa MP forum ko disanya na I wage a campaign against them say next time yen so mu parliament if so money ye no musuban no emfata so me ye emnasabedwafo aho ho aba o man mu amampanyi ahoro e wo bibre mu ha ete ha omo hwe TV omo hwe ne ekoso na ye gu ye hu anim asese ya eye enya fine enti no sisi ana so de na da yes ntwefo so yani esese ye ka yesu kokoto aba munko yi mu speaker ena ye mpene na ntokwa we dia kwakire we secret ballot ena fa ena ye den at the end of the day no enye skirt and blouse omkoto skirt and blouse na ye to abanu eno a no mkoto ye senka ye ka say kon party discipline finchi mu a anke bia owura gbagben wa ani nkunim nanso MPP fo di bi ato ama no enne na me ka o TV so say rejected ballot rejected me kana me boss esi o no sere enu bia na e ba na me magie di se nipa na ebo apayo na ko ba ne san na nipa mienu omo afa omo se da bi ye ba koto a well it is their choice but so gina ho ma omanfo na the omanfo be ka kire wo no ene na oba ba ye enti se wo kono koye dia office be bo a okay but owura gbagben Ben so the godfather of the parliament from Fourth Republic. He has been there. Yeah. He's a whole institution. I say obi a hwe susua ade. Na wa yeshemu e wogidie se adwuma na obeye no obeye ne kwan so na edi nkabom aba. Na mom MPP ni NDC. Sa I'm seeing something.
Ekosiisen
Oba hwe ni ye. No me de sadie kwa fomfie na ya. Emwa boy emwa ni say next time koto ba wo obedi nkunim no yetuma bum no edi nkunim na wo obedi nkugo nso poto no akoba bia tra ekoba ho a na manya kwa de mope but in our democratic experiment it's proper so bo say yes now ye wo opposition a or yes speaker nominate no ye boni di ye to no so aba no ruling government nankasa ne nkofo di bituma opposition na je so omahu bibi woni mu enno ena mi giri se ebeboa na na kwankwa ye se me de me wo me fan nti professor Michael Kwe onso be ne de the time aso well enu ani sanka okoni baby onu so wo enipa bebiri a obetimi di aboa abangbagwen na mum no ma NDC fo nkoji ntaw mani asese susum sorry say ye de and ye de speaker ba and ye de be wadapa dabi if so wura agbagbe nankasa no latter part of the political career with the NDC kura na nsem wom ye be ka 2016 chairman sabos majority leader mo no mo call and constituency ko ye campaign man answer the primaries no fam and na che say wo hwa o mankasa no o mo penasem nti saban is fine but the course no dear me pa se sa MP se kaloso hinkra John Gina Pomu pa so mo constituency ka me a wage crusade against them say my ensomo mu biom if so mo di anmugase na ebre na dem ye some supporters enso ye bia obetumi nya kugudu akoka asrafo no so ko pe den ho asrafo no e dey pa na mo ko pe ho because asrafo do mpie baby pe na yenim say oshobo nibri asem omkope den ho afibi do be say adan mute ni could determine na eba na but say no mo saso mo ba dem say well e dey na mo bepe ho
but when him on yes we raise asraf for the year because now me be say e be hwe in seminar kasa one after my general comment. No?
Okay.
But on a strap for one the Honorable Mutala Muhammad.
Muntaka.
Dabi.
Mutala. Okay. Tamale Central. Is it Central?
Is it Central?
Yes. Tamale Central. Yes.
Tamale Central.
Madam Football, be mate.
Oh, okay. On the Joy News, in Como, after Speaker suspended Parliament for the inauguration of the president. In some of our far soldier for about Parliament.
What is important is that people must understand that institutions ought to be respected, and that is why I still insist that it was Honorable Nitol who called the unacceptable.
So I ask you again, if you were asked to provide evidence, where would it be?
I confronted him. I was there when he was making the call, and I confronted him. I asked him whether he didn't feel embarrassed about what he was doing. When he made the call, I confronted him. When they came, I confronted him. So he may lie, but I wasn't the only person.
And what was his response to you?
Well, he didn't say anything. Look, we were about 3 other members of parliament. We're there. He made the call in the chamber.
So you have witnesses?
Yes, I have witnesses. He made the, and that is why I think that there should be thorough investigation. The sanctity of this house must be protected. Could you imagine tomorrow any other person inviting any group of people who come here with guns, assuming there was a trigger, motivated military officer among them? Anything could have happened. They were fully armed. That is completely unacceptable. It's an affront to our democracy. It's insulting to the sanctity of this house. And I think that we need to condemn this and demand proper investigation.
Direct allegations. The Defense Minister of the Republic, MP for Bimbila, and also Jinan in chain and of far phone phrase so no emerim. Is it something you believe? I mean, what you saying?
Well, as someone okan on the side of the story na okan.
Yeah.
Yenti eniti wun so anu di sem. Say yenti eniti wun so anu di sem wa. And they be whom be no crenda because they be a case no when crabata means
or witnesses now other 3 MPs agent
other 3 MPs some NDC MPs and as MPP MPs aha ejino niti wool eba be yi no one now because at the time now soldier for no niti wool onye defense minister he is not the time be 4 years now so president a new appointment we have entered new day yen so the in Engine or crime ben sooner, obeying that capacity. San Juan did obey order. Engine no or your defense minister. Well, you can also be yano. Nasa san et dear. And in entry, if you say, Emra Shebe Jomidie, a police for civil servants, Emra, and nobody Juma. And yet the use of brute force. Because they do honor, Nenye, Ampanso, Senka, Oma, professional. And to ya and the assembly. It is sad any dear. Ma insibium say ye parliament. And also en crabata a cat can be maybe I mean can be a memoning map a buying crabata a shamra. Ohono ye de mrada ye juma. Na a soldier for be wura or a cretu and yet.
It is
it's condemnable.
Yeah, I see a Honorable Dominic Nixon.
But in the first place,
or then a reaction.
Many questions absolutely no need. A soldier for an entry. I don't know why the least thing near resort to soldier for the soldier should not be common to us.
Yeah.
And there was apart from the misbehavior and intolerance of certain members of parliament. Now Bibi anywhere here say asrafo beba.
But the soldier also the command na ye adwuma. It is who
but that's what I'm saying. I am not interested for now in even the command. The need for them to be there in the crown and a non-starter and then the command no one mark command and I love the spirit of some members of parliament that fiercely resisted them to get back and they say we know ourselves. We are harmless. We are not going to kill one another. We disagree to agree. Pamcho Monko Hanya Asra for them. Then we can have a conversation. So what I don't like about Asra for is in as much as we are independent, but they are most modern we are revered. No. So also other institutions, some of their utterances against Kwesi Evans the post friends Ekosiisen.
Ekosiisen.
Yeah, very, very. Is it Obi? Yeah. Some of the members of parliament.
Yes, especially the NDC side.
They're very unfortunate.
Yes.
Very unfortunate. We have to be as blunt. We have to also be blunt. If we are being blunt with what they said, say, when we support them, some of them, if that is how they want us to relate to them, we relate to them on that same level. Because if you want institutions of state to work, let's start giving and according each of the institutions. Because Obi. When you are calling for equity,
you come with clean hands.
Please.
Yes. But Oman Uni may worry. And Kwesi, maybe the NSA, we all agree, say, soldier for ne bar on the nyade papa.
Ekosiisen
soldier for
Asempa FM.
And rap parliament keke.
Command.
And we have to find out who invited them.
That's what I'm saying.
The Honorable Tamale Central MP are making allegations.
But that's what I'm saying.
And I think Dominic Nitti will shoot.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Obi, me need problem here with looking out for whoever.
Yes.
In the acting in a manner that was very wrong to me and unnecessary. Unless say be a nipa ne ba be say as of that material moment, no one will be the ammunition be an
immediately after the Obiko Bubu
voting screen.
But personally, I think that it was of no relevance.
Abdul Malik Bekubako said, regardless of who might have invited the military into the chamber of the house, that military presence was a needless intrusion and unwarranted escalation of the already bad situation. Contempt of parliament. I will support an investigation into that negative development.
Abdul Malik. And upon me trying to me reaching around bed 9.
Okay.
Then I line and go through because na me pe nchiremu kakra bi and entiase bi every nehonum. Oh, senior.
I'm Professor Ransford Jampo Associate Professor of Political Science and Director of the Center for European Studies, University of Ghana. Yeah, Professor Jampo.
Professor Jampo.
Yeah, Professor Jampo.
Oh, I don't know a
Professor Jampo. Yeah. There's a motto.
Yeah, Prof, in what time is it to Professor Jampo?
Who is there or an elder of the Church of Pentecost?
Well, you better draw about Apostolic Empowerment Ministry.
I didn't hear.
Or one fine gentleman, or useful for the work of God and useful for Mother Ghana.
Na Pentecost, the work of wine.
No, more enough people are more impacted generations than that. For example, you better say what you're going to say.
Prof. Now, Prof, we have a call there. Official Panso. With interest in politics in Ghana, no, we pay close attention to their course in Parliament, free Enra and Najo to Ahomachi Besi and pay. In one word, how would you describe the Uhu on TV?
Normal for a parliament that can be described as hanged.
Normal
for a parliament that can be described as hanged.
On Asempa FM.
Hanged parliament. It's just a political parties now our parliament. Obie ni ahwodin or constitute what we call majority. Yendu sabi so that in the history of Ghana's Fourth Republic. Yendu be that. Today is the first time. And you know, first time renting ama Enyama bia eko so hono aye nipa 1-1, but quite normal. It fits into the whole theory we call legislative violence. The legislative violence are essentially you are talking about a clash between members of parliament, oftentimes triggered by a hung parliament, divisive issues, and tight boots. Now, although the sight of members of parliament say omoko it is quite incongruous with the legislature's stately image, you know. And see the parliamentarians, you know, almost so and they are prone to stress and anger. And to Usha Sanya theory, you know, exception now. A part of just all the MPs brought together, fill a house with members of parliament,
on Asempa FM.
and then make sure that they are filled with fire of partisan ardor and perplex them with doubt as to the personal gain or loss that may follow their votes on the question at hand, and instill in them with some envy of and ill will towards their fellows, and you would naturally have abundant cause for them to want to fight. All that is needed is an excuse, and once the excuse can always be found, normal. You see, near me, anytime we walk a hang parliament, none of the political parties has majority. Political party be or per se or be so outsmart, and I say near be the other side and any balance. The other side you boot for boot. Now quite normal. Happen. It happens all over the world. Well, for me, even though it been seen that in the history of the Republic, the kind of parliament Yenya says so, and this will be seen that in the history of the Republic. And you ABC anope. But I want to believe, sir, near a man here, then say, of course, I would say was done by some members of parliament elect. Now they have been sworn in as honorable members of parliament. And my dream, see, the kind of leader of parliament, firm and stern, and somebody who, by all indications, show say obey fair now. Me did say some of these features are a characterized legislative violence. You, and it says, I shall say no, so share empo says black no say idea or 2 million and 9C from an active proactively and can be a baby guy could do quite endure, sir. But my dream, the clerk was too weak and almost unprepared for the job. But
to be fair to him, Prof, to be fair to him, anybody in his position, no, any the barrage of attacks are not about. So we're confused, though.
Ekosiisen say, or you're proactive or you're firm and on that week in my view. And can adena area course quickly. You summon the leaders, okay, behind the scenes. Now you Marco Casa, and then no how. How on say there is a principle of secret ballot. Secret ballot, a political theory. J.J. Rousseau, expanso, yes, to enable the general will of the citizenry to be known and expressed on any given matter. There should be, voting should be undertaken by secret balloting. In Ghana, a criminal for say who to aba ubecha emfenina obibehu. And na parliament for amafa efi the political theoretical angle or efi a constitutional provisional angle. Now omodi abeshe almost standing orders mu say ye to sa aba na say secret ballot. Send ye be ya and conforde omankasa omuti ni omadwen ebeto aba. Enti say obi ye ade bia e undermine secret ballot na say a member of parliament be na or draw attention na e de gidigidika ye
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
As a send clerk or someone and the leaders na nkoni omokasa na oni omo oye na sa anka ye ndu be osha in the selection of the first deputy speaker and the second deputy speaker. No say esan so share mo na omo discuss ye ntino eno na amana nye basa na say gidigidi yem kose mbren so ho ntino nti American so make us in my view na or a weak and appear unprepared for the job. Let's say or you're very much prepared. He should have anticipated near a course nanka ushom behind the scenes nanka the issues that have been raised by Muntaka Manka Bianca or more extra so anka yen do the beer you do another way. I mean who said Obi to say Abam Bagben 28 years of experience. second deputy speaker of parliament and so for some time. And now or before I obedu and bibi awodi. Now you could not see him as your typical NDC parliamentarian, always doing the bidding of
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Or you'll be now when you arise edu bibia will assume the position of a statesman. And you know, my dream minimum say experience or war and kwadari what kwadari or parliamentary proceedings morning as a for no. So who say near maybe a features of hang parliament ba parliament wa ebema basa ye tisenia ye hu ye na jono ebi ba. He will know how to meet people behind the scenes, to talk to them and to address differences before they get to plenary. Esan say ye try sem no o say ye hwe papa ni nsua na ye hwe papa ni nsua na ye nim say san say me bit me ekwoso UK e bit me koso South Africa e bit me koso Uganda na sefo. But in the papa, as I say, a share nation, if you would not leader or you're quite proactive or persona and pedigree or yes, term or yes, 10 or yes, fair, not for yes, fair, so obedient to me, Rafono, or none as would be anymore. Time to time, you know, he would bring together people behind the scenes to iron out differences before you get to the plenary. And you know, my dream, you know, nothing is lost. Governance on that particular parliament would not suffer. I want to believe, say, at the end of the day, near year and the parliament, of course, say, Ombeye, Amaya, it will be a comment to say, yeah, the ABA, abide the eco parliamentar. It will be subjected to so much partisan discourse and there will be rancor, acrimony, and tension. I trust in the pedigree and competence and experience of Abam Bagbin, say, Ubekumi steer the affairs in a manner that will ensure that governance wouldn't suffer.
And on the premise, they see, you know, a normal in hung parliament of this nature, no, or more I call it for investigations, ni entry MPs, ni biaso ni adeno, and necessary for now, right?
Around the time when we are normally MPs, so normally MPs,
MPs
elect,
yes.
They had not been sworn in. Until my name, Papa. Akoifa Okofa ballot papers are not usually. Now, me decide was now or they call him. If I now or they call friend the driver, driver spark car and corner or they call book one answer or the question and pass it. If I me dream one in chance now way now. Emma, are you called to explanation on Asempa FM? Explanation and not explanation no. It makes sense, Kaka. Adibi wa onipa ya ono ankasa tuna lokasa na mekora so de na biye beshi ni kpokpogblibli.
And we should let sleeping dogs lie, right?
Madrimu no minjin bi say isinya sa na yete Ghana for on say eko ewie no they were all calm. They were all calm. Yes sa na yete ena to me na to me ne ahomaso a majority for war omudidi main sem of parliament no say ebi ni hobium enti no ne ekoso yi ebema obia mfranti meka so obia beta no ho aze you would be cautious and you approach the conduct of parliamentary proceedings with some trepidations and respect. They say, you know, one say omanka so more calm asem no one to say majority and minority.
Yeah.
Strategic majority way. Before then, one to say, or say said there is no hang parliament and there is majority, then there is minority. Not for. I say, Papa, I say, I did a course on Ghana for voting pattern this year, no last year.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
If you say no, it's nothing like minority majority. We na munko work munko yeduma together. It's na MPC for kofa MPP for ko nyatna so no. We no manya ho ahode ankasa mon sorry. Omuja na sa because you say upe obi antumi nye obi any strength.
Obi a 137.
Nyama bebre a course no to say papa ya you can't say junction down so nti mon to about for 2 and na se for ɛna nea ebinom yɛɛyɛ a yɛfrɛ sɛ na ɛho hia amanfo bi kasa bi a ɛntwɛ ɔmo asɛm megye di sɛ ɛsiane sɛ sesei wei ehia wei NDC for ehia MPP na MPP for nso ehia NDC no nti no ɔmo bɛfa a peaceful way bi ɛde resolve differences a ɛmma ɛnkɔyɛ sɛ you are trying to do in somebody ɛbɛma ɔno nso wayɛ aggressively on the defensive tina meka sɛ ɛyɛ ampa sɛ Asin North MP no ɛyɛ ampa sɛ dual citizenship nti na nsɛ sɛ ɔyɛ member of parliament a ebetumi afa decent mbakwan so ɛne na kasa anasɛ ɛne na edi fɛfɛɛfɛ a ɛnema na ɛnkɔkyerɛ sɛ obi try by force a sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔshɔto NDC 4 numbers anasɛ didi but I want to believe say in the process of doing that no ɛnyɛ adversarial and gidi because yes
but prof decent mrakwan no yɛ den there was a high court decision restraining him from holding himself up as MP elect and even presenting himself to be sworn in that service no was served on the clerk ono agitu mu sɛ onya service nti decent mrakwan no yɛ den
I didn't know ha ɛyɛ nipa binom yɛ a wo sɛ on share your from cholerics or you so no at the achieve a certain selfish interest of on number so all right but Adria or the pay you know I been money well you know about the saying that a binomo any some election yɛde injunction ɛto ɔmo so ɔmotumi overturn court ma ruling bi sɛ ɛsan sɛ nkɔfoɔ ɛna ato abama ne nti no wode ɛmoma no nkɔ ne nkɔ so ani na yɛne asɛm ɛkyerɛ na ebinom so deɛ yɛde ɔmo kɔ anɔpa tututu na ruling ne ba a ewia ketekete nkɔfoɔ kɔyɛ stay of execution no yɛyɛ ne yɛse nipa koro ɔbɛgye stay of execution waba me kurom akyemfo so ɔpɔ yɛhwɛ na yɛhu no na teko ɛte de bi a na wo na mamba kwan no nso so nanso nipa bi nso tena se omutumi redi adwin bi a ete ekire se ebinom so adwin se ye befa kwan bi aso ashote mo no mbese so wo yes ma even though we use mra no enko ntimi ho ase eden eba nti senia eniema akoso parliament a ade di pefe se de nkofo match o boot for booty you be fun so but I been a teacher so no obey in such a way that you may truly be giving meaning to due process and rule of law and not any partisan parochial
interest. Okay. Yo, Prof, my nase and minim sebia the see any normal no it includes sojane police for a bar parliament house honor. And also was normal, right?
I know the Nipakura
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
No, we am one kaka. Me dream one. Mentias you.
Asempa FM.
My point is, so who ordered the military to go to do nothing in Parliament? Omokoye then Omokoye no. Omosan kwese omokwa aggravate situation no kra. Who ordered them there? In my view, no, it was democratically childish and indiscretion on the part of whoever gave the order, regardless of the weakness of the clerk in ensuring order. Mijidi say, Mashas na omo no, na they could have handled the situation.
Na Mashas, yenya Mashas iba akona. Obi tam no to ne twene baby. Where ho?
Say na de eni bre na ba obi tam ba ko twene baby, ase na bebre so wo ho. Nti no ebeye he kakransa na yedin soldiers e call you see yeah pesado do soldier for their mandate is to essentially defend the territorial integrity of the nation omoko akon yemfa soldier for embassy civilian affairs mu say parliament for eye wonchi na police for na masas wo ho a yes soldier for so embeka ho yeah pesa obehwe na soldier ni on na okura minister bag
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
They don't like it. this use, abuse, and deployment of the military to handle purely civilian matters, is politically nonsensical.
Prof, me and Asi, we'll come back to you when need be. Yeah, that's a power.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, sure. The Professor Ransford Jampo and I'm and can Ekosiisen in higher Sempa 94.7 FM. It's getting interesting. But we've been joined in studio by our very senior Carl Tufo Abekayensa Ewaha. But Oman Hene Kwabena Santu as Azuna Kwesi Ajeman Eda so Ewaha. Inti before say Carl Bebamuno, Omana Wanugu Asem so awo kanafi mema.
Well, Ebia Bema Kala, but quickly just to say it's a prof I need delivery, but on the bit of about
majority
decent
okay.
No mamino.
Okay.
Decent, they could have decently
decency.
No. We were even near what Bijina Bia, Yeshemra, I knew Mransus and so near Tim Rasi. One of the dark days I mean, Mrs. Abba. Nese Omajia Tumpos, if they will err on the side of air alone. Now, Clark, as I catch the Papa say, my catch them paying for my Sebedrum Ho. Said the court to the Abrami new. And Tia Hono. Anna, I am one to say MPP for so. How much me and carry? I'm found. Now my Sebedrum near boom rational. Nene Hammy boom rational was no matter my dad, I do no. She is subjected to scrutiny. Omogu yanima se pa o. Omogu yanima se amane broso. It's Prof, I beg to differ on this one. We cannot compare, and we don't have any decent means of approaching when it's about the law. If the law says A, and we all understand the definition of A, we should not try to be decent about A, because A is A. The way I see it, because there is room for excuses there, Obi, and I'm not even near my organa. Now, Papa no said, "Yeah, I caution is our dancing now, Banasana Tedia, Misuno Brebro. If the Akosono, he couldn't be a man enough. Now, I could be a man, you are cemetery, dioma.
And Abanos too.
Yeah, but the consequences, no, the party will not be there.
Oh, of course.
Unless the court to the Abania dancing a court to Kurani, a Rudu Radasama, and you are so papa behind the enim. Now, number 2 about Prof submissions, no, and who is it?
Majority,
yeah.
So will be
who can can my ship be Abakosema. Bibia ni ho aka say eno no yeni eye dom kuma ana dom kase e bia na fe na ye reinvent wheel dia fine. Ya na ye de sanse she na gu ye ko mu. There should be a way to determine who leads the house in terms of a majority leader and who becomes a minority leader. Yeah. Because ye nim say party for no eye 137 and 137. And yet the first time say independent candidate or machine be and as a person who join a party be numerical strength and one seven year. So the independent candidate, if he wants to work with the NDC or he wants to work with the MPP,
or more numerical strength.
That's it.
They be true, so.
Clearly.
And let me also add, we standing orders of parliament now. The standing orders define who a majority leader is, and they define who a minority leader. And the majority leader, the leader of the party or parties with more seats in parliament. Into party or parties with more seats in parliament. Minority leader, so the leader of the party or parties with more seats other than the party that formed government.
Okay.
One with difference. No? The minority leader is the leader of the party or parties with more seats in parliament other than the party that formed government.
Obi.
Carl.
Obi.
Yes.
Na kwabna santi aka.
Okay.
But more importantly, we see standing orders no defining majority leader, but and defining parties.
Yes.
Independent candidate with my party. He may be independent or not, he's still a party. Until he could be classified as now we'll clarify as parties. Until he can join wherever he wants to join. Now I am majority, even though we are independent. But for me no, Itie uncommon when
Professor Jump.
The Benya Prof. Aye.
Okay, Samson Ahi, Honorable Samson Ahi.
And okay, BB. Who be saying say, okay, swearing now, or so one share.
Also now Otenekam.
But you can because on more or less on recognize it because what made the case no court.
Yeah, that's true.
But or recognize the question.
Question anyway.
I say no. Or recognize the question. Court in place injunction.
Yeah.
So where is the
consistency?
Thank you. Or sorry to use the language. Hypocrisy. And you been here. Who recognize it back, but who recognize it back? Where does it lie? And then I mean, Tiasiano. Mr. Ombubium explain it. Say applicable to President Akufo-Addo, yeah, and yet also applicable to question. Rain or shine. But na many say, I still want to person any majority leader.
Okay.
Any minority leader. And
it's very important. I mean, there are no two ways.
They cannot be, sorry to say, dilly-dally no Mark Fanchen Parliament, that is what we call round, sir. Woman out at the first and at the earliest time. New in any majority leader, in any majority chief whip, in any say, as a mean, as a quadra sentiment, as a wound. They cannot sit and throw it away. But from a personal note, I mean, cannot cry. In many ways, no. We share 138, 136, one that says Nipa Baku free MPP. And I'm happy for him because he's a personal friend, personal friend.
Okay.
I can't think of a more decent person
than him.
So, Obenyasa, you know. But it still takes away the fact, say, Ubinsu to Abaman. What are we going to do about it? If the court has put an injunction?
Okay, that's an interesting
an illegality vote. If we go by what the court, the position of the court now.
No, but that's an interesting point.
Yes.
Yes,
because
it's an interesting point.
But could be a bit frame and say be frame.
Another point, no.
And also a difference, no.
There you are.
And also a difference, no.
But not to have and then the problem, that's the situation we find ourselves.
It as someone very, very complex. It is funny say court a man back see and so if you are there, or say papa, contempt. Say contempt.
What happens? One better to
no. You know what the man here interesting is Nipanira Parliament now Yasweni in. Anything he does, if the court should find him guilty eventually, that court's decision is without prejudice to
no, but she and to say Adamu
Sakandi
and to say they are now and on the channel. Bueno, before he even got there, no court no say.
I agree with you.
By as far as the court is concerned, no on MP.
I agree.
Well,
the directive was clear. Don't hold yourself up as MP.
Thank you.
Don't present yourself to be sworn in as MP.
It happens that the first court no say anye into a uniform. What do you do now? And then the basic war. One by continue speaker, one by new voting for speaker. And then they say be saying these are the complexities. For instance, Maminka Bibi, now me share constitution.
Asempa FM.
It had never occurred to me. Say so Obi winning election, and even the US, Obi winning elections. Now he dies before he's sworn in. Who becomes the president?
I'm not talking about Fufro. Yes, sure, we in.
Yes, sure, we in.
So,
but
not about Fufro.
But say no, you animate war.
Yes,
and then the questions now.
Those are some of the lacuna in the
US for no more. No more acting. Hey, yeah, they understand here. And maybe we should start thinking along those lines. But for the moment, you have in parliament, no, and then the majority.
Who is majority? Who is minority?
It's a good point.
Yes.
But one other thing they say, even here can lacuna no, so standing orders now me kind, you know. Who's standing orders now and contemplating your baby. For example, see everyone say yeah, two baby. Oh, now for example, MPP enya 130 seats. NDC enya 132 seats. Now independent candidates 3. who forms the majority? Ni yɛmfa no sɛ independent candidate na your margin say will do business with NPP. NPP nya 130 seats.
By your definition of the standing orders, I would say party or parties.
Yeah.
So we must say woman the woman who be bang NPP then that will be the majority.
But the interesting thing again is says I will share interpretation segment of the standing orders. Now we say a moment interpretation for all critical words how we use.
But they didn't. But you have parties. You define party because it didn't make provisions for independent candidates.
And I would have to get that into how it defines party within the context of our definition.
Yeah.
Our party, political parties in Kwa, and now some independent candidate I'm seen as
a
party.
But I'm sure a party representing both sides in individual and people forming a party. So independent is a party to.
That is exactly what I'm saying. For me, the independent is the party.
Per the example, na me maya. Yeah. Funny say because Muko Parliament seat will be a winner. Would independent the other 20 seat will be a winner and you seat in the name of your political party. On the example, say MPP in 130, NDC in 132. The NDC won 132 seats for their party. In terms of a party seat, they are in the majority. And NPP in 130. Independent candidates 3, they don't belong to any political party. Or my imagine they will do business.
But when we are parties, when we can say definition now,
just an alliance with NPP.
No, but they are as independent candidates.
They are party to.
They are parties to themselves.
Yes, if only they decide, they become parties to themselves.
Yes, they are party to themselves. Sansana, we choose side because local parliament, there is nothing like neutral. Yes. Either minority or majority. So you must
parliament,
UK.
No, I know why I'm saying parliament. Who say when Samia decided say he will not join any of the caucuses. She was in there as independent.
No, but she didn't have a simple seat. She had to sit with one side because they don't make provision for yes.
One side.
So you can have the independent view. No,
just standing on this now. Almost parties, almost political party.
Yeah, that's all.
So it's very clear.
Independent candidate.
Yes. And independent candidate or talk about that about paper no so. The info ni wo na share so there. Eso. And send the better print. Yes. Yes.
And no, that's when the car can should be resolved. The Ghanaian people should know who is sitting on the right hand side of the speaker. And who will be on the left hand side of the speaker. And we should take it. Because there should be a leader of government business in parliament.
That's it. My belief is that there should be that 1 week break now between. I am believing that all these are part of the results now. They want to be full glare of so I am seeing more of compromises, but clearly there's going to be a majority and a minority.
Interesting now. Okay, so America say because if you look at speaker, I mean he's going to be neutral, but speaker no free. First deputy speaker free. Second deputy speaker free. Even though or independent.
But the party chose
into what one papa said more or less different quotes, interests, for want of a better word. So what I say, independent, MPP, NDC. The only time that thing happened where they had some differences was in 2004. There be time and now President Kufuor against NDC for the Alajete by. Because of that, at that time they had an agreement say wafer speaker. The second deputy the other side. Because of that, MPP former Malik Yendi.
Yes.
Former chairman. Had all
National Secretary Interior, Yakubu.
Yes. Into only by second deputy speaker.
Yes, that is
true. First deputy, another MPP guy, and Begina was
such a use. The speaker.
All the three.
Freddie Blafi.
And they did that because they thought that the NDC had also filed
some alleged against
conventionally second deputy na the mamu no say ade yem
na come come Kenjirasa.
Very good.
I was in the chamber na Ken Japan no authentic also we show you about a plan on the fan.
Everyone say Ken Japan has trended on Twitter number one throughout on KK.
Katie, Kamuba.
Oh, they really comforted themselves.
Yeah, I think they were.
In fact, I'm more calm next down.
Yeah, I'm calm.
Maybe I am catching you. I feel the Katie. I want to go. Maybe I know Mr. Montras and me and 12
Okay. Abdul Malik will go back home with the country. I say a leader of government business in parliament can only come from the party constituting the executive or government. Simplicity.
So not majority.
What's it?
Not majority.
No,
in this case,
leader of government. Leader of government business. It means that the person must have some link to government.
Of course. In the party, yes. That party in the panel leader of government.
Okay, so that's different from the majority.
Yeah. No, that is leader from the Minister for Parliament, more or less Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, which is what Chairman wants. That's it.
So who is the majority then? Who is the minority?
No, for now, the makers for now, it's technical. It should be raised for the speaker to give a ruling on. Now, we're moving on. Because OSHA definition now, in the standing orders now, even for the definition for minority leader, no, the leader of the party or parties with the most seats, apart from the party that formed government. It is a party who are Beimua or some little edge, you know, it is something they
because he said based on the majority minority, they set up committees and
ranking.
So
it's very important.
We need it.
That's another aspect.
We need it
because we have to take that decision.
Yes,
and then you're moving on to the setting of committee.
Yes,
because and don't forget that here because vetting committee.
Yes,
ministers will have to.
Say, apart from public account committee. And I think subsidiary legislation, I don't know, opposition
yes.
That's the minority
committees. All the other committees, no,
majority for
NHA. Until we have to settle that, and then they can move on. Now, Ekosiisen na high Asempa 94.7 FM. And you know me, ewaha medane me ho akwa akoye we abetew. Ye ba afi ye besan akọ in 7 going forward, no. What kind of parliament should we? Obi say, Obi, why are we fighting over the Asin North guy, though injuncted but was allowed to vote? Visit what happened in Asante Achim North primaries. There was an injunction, but the regional chairman in the Ashanti region and the NP ignored the court injunction and organized an illegal primaries. Unfortunately, Nipana and Fanny Dean Anka.
But Obi,
we say yes.
But Obi, and no credit. If what he's saying and no credit, no worries. But Abofun Wakasabi, 2 wrongs
cannot make it right.
But it's a deliberate wrong.
Obianim, tell me
sometimes you find MPP for. You know, sometimes.
Yeah, Kojoba.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, Kojoba.
Sometimes you find
the constituency and a test and a and unfortunately, on primaries and
you know, you 0 or 1 about to continue.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Politics.
Where's the Obi? We are all complaining about the military intervention, but what necessitated their entry? If they had listened to the police and not insulted the police leadership, would the military have been invited? After that, did you see them behave the way they did again? Look at the likes of Otukon and Asiedun Ketia. What they did to distract the house. This is just the beginning of many such destructive acts. There is nothing normal about this. Unfortunately, okay, that's from Starsky. Starsky in New York and on the way. Yeah. He follows, you know, issues in our country, Papa. We say,
is
it true? Is it true? It took 15 minutes for the bailiff to reach Accra from Cape Coast, fraud vitiates everything. The point
the
is
ruling was around. I'm saying it was around 2.
The bottom line is 15 minutes or 10 minutes.
4:55.
Clark, that was an Sakai. That's what we.
It's just in that the marshal in Parliament, on may allow either the police or the military
to enter
a chamber. Apart from no be any that authority.
But Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
They were in there.
Now, the member of Parliament should come again. It makes it Mutala Mohammed. It makes it very nice and beautiful. So especially it's all Kase. Minya shows will be the tro. Would try shameful?
Yeah.
Say defense minister. I know what is.
Well, Kase also original home.
In terms of try.
Defense minister.
So the point here is that Mrase, apart from the marshal, our Bema Quenya say soldier for an opposite for chamber only who coin. So
and where the military man is stationed on the president of parliament, no more parliament anymore.
Yeah, I think that
they were all around because even 3 days before, Mr. Mikojuma, they were packed all around
over the place.
both sides. Say there are 2 entrances into Parliament House. Back on that, your floor was saying. New Cathedral, yes, yes, the inner road, and then the main ceremonial road now, opposite, conference center. They were all over. All over.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Exactly.
Okay, and maybe we listen to the allegation again. This is the allegation.
And I think that what is important is that people must understand that is ought to be respected, and that is why I still insist that it was Honorable Nitol who called the military, invited them into the chamber. Armed military men, they were armed to the tooth. That is completely unacceptable.
So I ask you again, if you were asked to provide evidence, where would it be?
I confronted him. I was there when he was making the call, and I confronted him. I asked him whether he didn't feel embarrassed about what he was doing. When he made the call, I confronted him. When they came, I confronted him. So he may lie, but I wasn't the only person.
And what was his response to you?
Well, he didn't say anything. Look, we were about 3 other members of Parliament. We were there. He made the call in the chamber.
So you have witnesses?
Yes, I have witnesses. He made the, and that is why I think that there should be thorough investigation. The sanctity of this house must be protected. Could you imagine tomorrow any other person inviting any group of people who come here with guns, assuming there was a trigger, motivated military officer among them? Anything could have happened. They were fully armed. That is completely unacceptable. It's an affront to our democracy. It's insulting to the sanctity of this house. And I think that we need to condemn this and demand proper investigation.
Anytime I feel lonely, feeling sad, only one station makes me happy. When I wake up in the morning, only this station makes my day. Yeah. Oh, Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM. Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM. Oh, Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM. Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM. 94.7.